Hello there, Internet. MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. Today's deck tech will perhaps be a little bit longer than usual, as I have a few things to clarify. First of all, today's deck is really strong. I'm very excited to share because it may be my go-to try-hard deck for an attempt at reaching the very high end of Masters rank. Now, why do I want to climb to that point in Masters? Because a lot of you that have been watching me up until this point realize that I don't really care too much about my rank in Masters specifically. This number right here goes up and down a lot, right? Sometimes I'm over 100 and something, sometimes I'm all the way down to 0. In fact, a lot of my videos I start up at 0 because when I create a new deck, when I experiment with new concepts, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Sometimes ideas fail miserably and I just lose a billion games in a row and I tank my rank like crazy and I have to basically start from square one. And I'm okay with this because I don't really care about my specific number in Masters as much as others do. I focus on enjoying the game by constantly experimenting and trying out new things, and that's how I get the joy and the kick out of it, right? And nothing but respect for those who grind and focus on just purely laddering with, you know, their meta decks and just optimizing them. That's great. It's just not how I particularly like to play the game. It's as simple as that, really. But things have changed. MegaMogwai may have to go try-hard mode because we are trying to qualify for the Legends of Runeterra European country tournament. I'm going to call it that. Basically, the top 3 players of each country in Europe by the end of October 12th, the guys who play, the top 3 of each country who place in the Masters ranked ladder will qualify to represent their country in said tournament, which is officially organized by Riot. I want to participate in this tournament representing my home country, Spain, so I have to put in the work and I have to try to be one of the top 3 Spanish players in Masters, which is easier said than done because there are a lot of very good Spanish players in Runeterra. You know, just random names like Rowdy Porro, Sergi Tuvamos, who I know from Niguentes, Betoner, who was the first Spanish to reach Masters this season. Like, these are very, very high-level players who are grinding constantly, right? So if I want to have a chance at, you know, being among them up there, I got to put in the work. And this may very well be my go-to deck because it's very non-meta in the sense that other people aren't really playing this. We'll see after this video. And it's really efficient at that. In fact, this deck, as of right now, after my stream yesterday, I had a long session with it, and I went 10-2. in Masters. I climbed all the way down from 0, square one, to this rank right now with this bad boy right here, only dropping 2 games, and I feel very, very confident in it. So this is a deck that I'm very excited to share, and we're going to start talking about it. But before that, just one last thing, and we'll get on to the deck tech. In today's video, specifically the first game, you're going to see a certain side of me that I'm pretty sure those of you who have been watching me for a while already are aware of, but I feel like I got to do a little bit of a damage control here by clarifying a few things because today I'm a little bit toxic. I'm actually quite toxic because I'm facing a Lee Sin player, and quite frankly, I am tired of Lee Sin by this point already. I think Lee Sin is the worst buff that we've seen in Legends of Runeterra by far. I think it is the biggest mistake that the live design team has made, and I'm very frustrated about the fact that we have to deal with that broken champion for 2 weeks. I think it's completely out of line. I think it's a 6-drop that became a 4-drop for no reason, and I have already been very vocal about the champion in the past, so I don't really need to add more fuel to the fire. But running into Lee Sin back-to-back, especially because I was running into it like, I don't know if it was like my 4th Lee Sin in a row, I get tired of it. I get upset, and I just like to vent, you know? Like a human being, I like to rant. It makes me feel a little bit better. And yeah, sometimes I say nasty, toxic shit. It happens. For those of you who have this vision of me just being this positive kid dancing in a garden with all the Disney characters and, you know, filled with sunshine and rainbows and all that stuff, I am very sorry to disappoint. But I am a little bit more complex than that. I'm not positive all the time. I'm not happy all the time. I'm a human being. I get upset. I get mad. And sometimes I say stupid things. All right? If you cannot grasp this, if you cannot understand this, if you cannot accept this, I am sorry. Watch somebody else. All right? I'm not going to apologize for my behavior in this regard. You know, like somebody once told me, don't apologize for something if you haven't done anything wrong, right? I'm not, you know, I'm the first one who will admit their mistakes, and I'm the first one who will acknowledge that I am far from perfect. But sometimes I see some comments of people, you know, talking about my attitude, and it's just like, dude, I'm a grown man, you know? Sometimes I get mad, sometimes I say things, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just kind of ridiculous to me personally. But I did want to address it, and from that point, we can move on to the actual deck tech and talk about card games instead of about human nature and stuff. So, yeah, let's talk about Heimerdinger's Heliology. Heimerdinger's Heliology is a control... I can't pronounce that. It's a control spell-based deck built around Heimerdinger, combining Piltover with Targon. The reason why I'm combining Piltover with Targon, there's actually several. One of the first ones is because we have access to Solari Priestess. So she enables us to, more consistently than ever, fish for Heimerdinger, as we utilize her to invoke for potentially Written in the Stars. If we do find Written in the Stars amongst our options, we take it, we go for it, we can afford the tempo sacrifice, and we pick up a 4 mana 3/5 Heimerdinger that will be much more resilient than the original one and will allow us to get our value train going. Because you can see right here, we're running a total of 29 spells, which is a lot of spells, but this makes Heimerdinger extremely powerful in this deck because most of my plays will translate into a turret on top of the value that the spells themselves are generating. That's one of the perks of Heimerdinger. That's how the Heimerdinger archetype works, right? We get the value from spells, but we have this really insane engine that the longer the game goes, the more value we will generate out of, and we will end up overwhelming our opponent with card advantage and superior board presence. Regarding my curve, it may seem a little bit weird because we have this huge spike right here, 17. Almost half of my deck are 3-drops. Why, you may ask yourselves? I know a lot of you already know because you have seen the card right here. It is called Tri-Beam Improbulator, and it is low-key one of the strongest cards in this deck. This card is more than a meme, ladies and gentlemen. This card is legit. If you build it up right, and you have the right curve to justify it, this card can just translate into insane value. Just last game that I had before recording this intro, I faced this Jinx discard aggro, and I built up this Tri-Beam Improbulator to 6 damage and 6 cost follower generation. I was able to kill off Jinx and spawn an Alpha Walled Claw, which is a 7/6 with Overwhelm from Freljord for 4 mana. That is just absolutely wild, and this card achieves this sort of power level very consistently because of the high density of 3-drops. When it comes to 3-drops, we have Bastion, but of course, the main reason why I decided to build this deck to begin with, this card is pretty busted in its current form, and with Heimerdinger, it is just absolutely insane. We have a full set of Flash of Brilliance. You know, I'm really excited that they reverted this so they could synergize with Improbulator. If Flash of Brilliance was not 3 mana, this deck would not be possible. A couple of copies of Get Excited, a full set of Hush, even post nerf, we're still playing this, a full set of Solari Priestess, and a full set of Sump Dredger. Sump Dredger is there because he gives us a good body at 3 mana 4/3 that allows us to discard a card that perhaps we have no real use for in the specific matchup we are facing. And it allows us to cycle through our deck and find our key pieces to get the value train going. I really like Sump Dredger in this deck, and it also works really neat when we have Heimerdinger going on and we have some turrets that we don't really want to make use of, or when we play Hush and we get a fleeting Hush that we can actually just discard and get a card draw out of with this card. So really solid stat line, not much you can ask out of a 3-drop, and that is why we're playing this here. Even though the first couple of turns, the majority of the time, we are going to be carrying over the spell mana, unless we're facing a hyper-aggressive deck in which we will resort to Thermogenic Beam Mystic Shot. We reach turn 3, in which that's when we really want to get a play going, and ideally it is Solari Priestess, right? We have Star Shaping, which gives us really solid comeback potential versus aggro decks and anything like Bilgewater or Noxus, really. This being able to heal for 5 is just amazing, and the fact that we can also mitigate the tempo loss with Heimerdinger on the board is really neat, as we are also able to finish for a potential alternative win condition, which is very, very important. And then we get a couple of Sunburst, which is there to knock out Lee Sin. Sunburst plus Mystic Shot means that unless they have a deny, they have no way of stopping Lee Sin from dying, regardless of how buffed up he is, as we will be silencing him. We will be taking away that pesky barrier and knocking him out. Also really good against War Mother's Call decks as well, by allowing us to kill the likes of Trundle and also silence and knock out Tryndamere before he levels up. Also allowing us to kill Swain in the Bilgewater Swain matchup, And there's just a lot of things that this thing just knocks out, and it's just really, really good in this deck, especially when we have a Heimerdinger on the board for obvious reasons. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the deck list right there. Also, shoutouts to Pale Cascade and Solaris Shieldbearer. This card is there to protect us a little bit against early aggression by giving us a blocker that deters them from attacking early on, and then after we lose the temporary buff, we still have a 3-attack defensive fearsome blocker that can help us save up a little bit of damage early on. As we have a full set of Pale Cascade, which is the latest addition to the deck. I had the Sun Vigor, is it called? The Sun Blessed Vigor. But ultimately, I decided to change it for Pale Cascade because even though this provides a little bit less protection for Heimerdinger, it does draw us as a card. And, drawing a card out of a 2-mana combat trick is just too good. You can't ignore Pale Cascade, and you just run it in every target deck under the sun, in my opinion. And that's where I will leave this deck tech at. Like I said, a little bit longer than usual, but I have to give my little speech there at the beginning regarding the tournament. And regarding future content for this incoming week, I'm going to be focusing a lot on climbing. So a lot of my videos will be recorded in normal instead of ranked so that I don't tank my progression. Hopefully you guys understand that. And if you guys want, I can also record and upload certain parts of my climb to the top with this deck and perhaps other decks that I choose to play. If you guys would be interested in that sort of content, even though it'll be more repetitive from a deck perspective, it will be interesting to see a more try-hard competitive sort of video if you guys would like. Let me know in the comments. And that's where I'll leave it at. Have a solid day. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. And what was I going to say there for a second? I forgot. So, oh yeah, enjoy the games. 10 out of 10 outro. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Now it's 2 weeks.
I understand your frustration. Hopefully Riot patches it and we don't have 2 weeks of Leon Ladder.
It's 2 weeks of this. Like, what am I gonna do for 2 weeks, like, making decks when I'm gonna face the same shit again and again? Don't get me wrong, like, other card games have done way worse. Like, if I... In a way, playing Runeterra has kind of spoiled me. You know, I guess I am a little bit more entitled than usual. Do I need Bastion in this matchup? I don't think so. I'm gonna drop these two. Blessed Vigor could be good. Normally these cards would be pretty ideal with Heimerdinger, but considering the matchup, I'd rather search for like removal. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm relieved that I play Runeterra and I don't play Magic the Gathering, for example. Like, now that's a shit fest right now. But I still have a right to get upset. Like I'm just not looking forward to 2 weeks of this thing everywhere. You know, like 80% of my matchups being this. I'm also not looking forward to, like, wait, oh, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, which means that if I want to qualify for the European tournament, I have to deal with this when I want to, like, actually try hard and climb. All right, so I'll have to figure out how to approach that. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. Sunshine, rainbows, all that shit. I'm gonna take the Traveler here.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
Traveler is good. It gives me a solid body that can block into Zed. I mean, if I see Zed now, I will go for the Thermogenic Beam, because there's not really much that my opponent can do to stop that. In fact, there's nothing they can do, right? Because Pale Cascade won't save it. And besides Pale Cascade for 2 mana, unless they're playing the Sun shit. That's annoying, though. Not gonna lie. That granting him, but I'm gonna have to live with that. Yeah, Mountain Goat is pretty great now. But if he goes for an open attack, then at least that means that I don't have to deal with Lee Sin now, which is nice.
Not all mean well. Back, heretic. Believe or burn.
I think I may just take a hit with this. No, I want to have some extra chump blockers, so I'm just gonna block into you.
Believe or burn. Let my stars guide all travelers onward.
I'm gonna take the Crescent Strike. If he doesn't open attack, he can allow me to slow down Mr. Sin. Mr. Johnny Sins.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
I'm sorry if I'm coming off like I'm whining. It's just that this is a hard. Honestly, it's a hard pill to swallow, man. For me at least. Like I'm not saying everybody should feel like I am, but for me, this is a hard pill to swallow. Like having to deal with this thing. I'm just disappointed as well. But that's it. All right, let's drop you. Sweet smell of science. We have Bastion backup, which I don't think, unless he has like a Wool of Ionia, I don't think it's gonna be too relevant in this matchup. You know, I mean, Concussive Palm, stuff like that, but generally speaking, Concussive Palm is not generally aimed at this.
Force is meaningless without skill.
A pleasure to see you, Master.
I do want to attack with you.
Back, heretic.
This is why this card is not fine at 4 mana. The fact that this card can come down so early and represents such a threat.
Our enemies cannot hide.
Okay, so it's
I
Lisa.
will not hold back. Prepare yourself.
Believe or burn.
Yeah!
Journey ends. Have faith.
Yo, what's up, my dude? 7 months.
Hey,
Still going
Alfred.
Strong.
Yes, again! Breathe in, breathe out.
Conflict is all in the mind. Conflict is all in the mind.
We swim within the flows of magic.
A machine for sports ball.
I could have used this, but I don't have lethal. Even if he blocks here, this is not. It's just not enough. And I need to preserve this defensively.
A gift from the river folk.
Conflict is all in the mind.
Progress waits for no one.
I will not hold back. As the dragon wills. Center your spirit.
The Bastion is gonna give him the lethal. The Bastion is gonna give him the lethal.
Eureka!
The Bastion is gonna give him the lethal, and we're just 1 mana off from healing here.
Here comes.
If I play this, I'm gonna get denied. Can I just aim to spread out and then stun? That's my best bet, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can't do this now. I have to go face. While discarding as well.
And fire!
Rivers shape the land and give it life.
Yes, again!
I will not hold back.
If he resorts to... Okay, so if I do this... and he resorts to a deny, then I can play a thermogenic beam, clear this out, and then I kill him with all these, right? 4, 4, 3, yeah. So I gotta go with this first. Bait out the deny, potentially.
What will the waters take?
And fire!
I mean, how the hell can you survive here? Do you have a Spirit's Refuge? How the hell can you survive? Even with double guiding touch, you go up to 15, 8. Oh my god! With double guiding touch, he kills us. With double guiding touch, he survives.
Dimensions don't determine themselves.
So let's not allow that to happen. Because double guiding touch allows him to survive on 1 health, so I'm not giving him that chance. Now I have no fucking clue how he can live. If he still doesn't do anything... Yeah, I thought so. I thought so.
It's all in the mind.
Get the fuck out of here. You cheeky you. You're not living. Enjoy the count... After this game, hope you like this game.
For no one.
And hope you enjoy the countless mirrors of your broken bullshit that you're gonna run into, McLogan. Hope you have a swell time. Just having games decided by who draws Lee Sin first. Yeah, enjoy that journey. Get out of here.
Truly remarkable.
Alright, let's see. I'm gonna drop the Progress Day. I'm gonna drop the Hush as well. I'm gonna keep the Sump Dredger because it gives me something to do early on, and I can. Yeah, it's a decent stat line here. Though we do find the Solar Priestess, which we will be prioritizing because we want to find Ridden Stars to get Heimerdinger. That's a good draw too.
Clad in shining sunlight.
We halt their attack here. We don't find Ridden Stars, unfortunately. I think I'll be taking the Fallen Comet.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
Even though Meteor Shower can be decent here, most of his bigger units, like, we want to be able to have an answer for Leviathan, Swain, and the likes. Get them. And let's pass here.
I've whipped up something special.
Make It Rain can hit us relatively hard here. That's a lot of damage incoming with Make It Rain. But at the same time, it allows us to start working for... this is tough. I don't want to play into Make It Rain. I really don't. So instead, I'm going to play the Sump Dredger because this makes it so that Make It Rain does not clear my board, and it allows me to block with this. Unless if he has a Death's Hand, that's fine. I still am able to block. Yeah, he has a Make It Rain, which would have cleared my board otherwise. Now he needs a Ravenous Flock to deal with this, so I can still use this as a blocker. Prevent a little bit of damage. My god, dude. Okay, I'm just gonna take another Falling Comet here.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
We can't find Ridden Stars, unfortunately, but we can still... We have health gain here with Star Shaping.
The feud for the men.
And I definitely have to resort to this now. Are you shitting me?
They're kept above the rest. They should thank you for the feud. Such little lies.
Well, that's bad. That's real bad.
Quench or perish.
Believe or burn.
Lead or noxious.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
I don't have to worry about Leviathan or Riptide Rex yet. Oh, now you appear.
Witness glory.
Victory at any cost.
Keep up, keep up. What seems to be the problem? And fire! Dimensions don't determine themselves.
Merely pawn on a greater game.
Launches at record velocities.
We get a blocker for Swain, which is very, very important.
I will break it.
My most proud fencing collective knowledge! Let's do this!
Double bear for the next kill!
Back heretic.
Interesting solution. Anticipated outcome.
That's super random. That's definitely... I'm gonna take the risk, man.
Interesting solution.
I'm taking the risk.
A sturdy construction. Yeah. I have a new method to evaluate.
I had to spread out in case he has a. If I do this.
Publicize their demise. Clear off. You got legs. Use them. To the bug list. What seems to be the problem?
Oh! Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Got it. Whew!
Launches at record velocities.
Prepare the
He had it in his hand all along. Get that shit out of here! Nice. What the hell was it? What is the name of that card even?
Manipulated.
Yeah. Every single turn was preemptively planned there. What the hell was that? Like, is the armored Tusk Raider? Is that his name? I don't quite recall. Yeah, it's actually that. What the hell? This thing came out of nowhere, dude. I almost lost this thing. We have a positive win rating. We just won our last game, so I don't know. Let's wrap the progress today.
They forced us to choose death or the blade.
I'm not really too concerned about this.
Lunari, rise!
I just kind of telegraphed a thermogenic beam here. It is what it is. I don't want to waste it on that. We do find Dredger here. Okay, that's a little bit annoying. Yeah, this card is
Thank God
so
for
good
early
now.
morning streamers.
I'm gonna thermo beam this. Meow. I don't think Sunburst really, I mean, Bastion is kind of useless here, right? In this matchup, definitely.
It's our time!
It's quite a bit of damage, but I preserved my block, which is important.
We will be
Sunlight guiding my brethren.
I'm gonna get the golden sister.
Raise your weapon, Sunwood.
Find your own light within the darkness. Your light tried to blind me with resplendence, but they could not break me!
Let's just hope his last card is not Pale Cascade. Oops. Okay, he's good. Does he have lethal on this? Yeah, he does have lethal on this. Oh, that's crazy. He does have lethal. Like, even if we block here, here, and here. Wow. 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 GG. Well played. I mean, well played. He kind of like just vomited his hand and managed to find lethal at the end. Very clutch lethal, because from that point onwards we were going to be doing some serious healing. I do like the Solari Priestess here. I like the Sun Blessed Vigor. I think I'm going to drop... I'm going to drop these two for now. Even though Mystic Shot could have some utility. But for the most part, it's a little bit useless. No need to. I mean, we can still lead off with you, but I'd rather threaten more damage. The question is, what do we discard here? I mean, we could discard the Solari Priestess, to be honest. We don't need her anymore now that we... I'm gonna let him burn that mana.
Logical. Yes, again! Hypothesize their demise. Invention to date!
Eyes to me. banner will lead the way.
Eureka! It works! It works! Full blast! Innovation must begin somewhere. I concur.
We're going with this attack like this because we're playing around Withering Wail. Withering Wail does not save him. This attack pattern may seem a little bit off, but it is the most optimal way to attack if he has Withering Wail in hand. Got him. Got him!
Progress waits for no one. Calculated.